Hello. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. It's March 12th, 2020, and I'm currently still at school right now. So when some people get logged in, I just want to give you guys an update. I want to check in with you guys to see how you are all doing and to, make sure you guys are in pretty good spirits. Hey, who just jumped on? Oh, I got a couple people on. Hey, you guys. It's getting crazy. Yo, diverse. It's getting real crazy. It definitely is. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, I was just waiting for a couple people to log in so I could give y'all an update on my side of things. Who else is on here? I see it's like two other people on here. Hey. All right. Okay. So, as you guys know, we are currently dealing with what now is, I would say, is considered the pandemic of the coronavirus. And I guess, like, when I first heard about it, like, you know how you just kind of be like, like, I get it, but, like, it's not, like, we should be cool. Like, it's not that deep. And then it's not that deep until it starts to, like, affect your life. Well, that's kind of where I am with it right now. Um, yeah, it's just a lot, you guys. So I just want to give y'all an update. I know y'all can tell from the title, it said coronavirus and public education. So I just got word after school was out that we would be closing. Our governor sent out a mandate that every school in my state will be closing schools for the next 3 weeks. So of course, from the front end, people like, woohoo, like okay, 3 week break. And I'm over here feeling like I can't breathe, like I'm about to have a whole panic attack. And then the kids, they all like, hey, we got 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't think they really understand like the impact that a decision like this has, not only on like day-to-day life, but like just on a large scale, even as far as like how it will affect their households. Because my school system is a public school system, and we are the largest in my state. So what that means is that we have a lot of kids whose parents actually work for the school system. Now, for me, I'm on a salary. So as far as like finances, I'll be fine. But a lot of our parents and just people in general in the city who are employed are hourly waged. So what that means for them is that right now, they don't know if they're going to be getting paid or not in these next 3 weeks because they don't get paid during breaks. So for me, like my heart really goes out to them. And especially, like I said, the kids, they're just happy. They're just hearing like, oh, we're out of school. But like they don't really see like the grown decision aspect of it and just the true reality. So I was trying to help them understand. So I've been teaching my kids about the mechanisms of evolution. And one of the big mechanisms that we've been talking about is genetic drift, which is basically when you have like some random event that happens that like basically destroys like populations. And so we talked a little bit of like about the like Spanish flu and like how that killed like 20 to 50 million people and like what effect that had on society back in the early 1900s. And the kids, they were like trying to like grasp it all. And like once we were talking about it, they were like, oh man, like, okay, like I can like start to see the seriousness of it. And so I'm just like, oh, MG. And so like you have that component of, how are people going to be getting paid? Like 3 weeks of pay that you'll be missing? Like people who are already on hourly wages, they don't get paid during the week of spring break. But you're talking about 3 weeks and 3 consecutive weeks at that. Like that's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And it's quite devastating. You know, it can have devastating effects. I'm not sure if they're like releasing some type of stimulus for our state in particularly that will help individuals who may need the help during that time. But a big reason why they were delaying closing our school system to begin with, just from within our school system, is that a lot of our kids depend on our services. We have social workers here. Some of the schools they have, most of our school have nurses. Some of the schools have like dentists that will come in. Like there's a lot of sources that the kids depend on as far as like therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. Like my school, we're very big on students with disabilities. So there's a lot of things that we do within the school system and public education that is going to be halted. And then so a lot of the kids are like, well, I mean, there's summer break, but summer break there's a preparation for summer break, and um, there's a lot of resources for the summer for the kids to do their schools out programs. There's summer camps, like there's things for the kids to do. But for this, there's no plan, you know? And so even like as I'm like trying to grasp everything, I'm like, what about our kids who literally depend on us to eat? Like I don't know if we've even had enough time to really develop a plan that will make sense in this short amount of time that will be able to feed our kids. Like you have some kids, you got to think, we give our kids breakfast, we give our kids lunch. And the teachers like me, we got kids that's hungry. I have little crackers here and there. I barely get to eat my own lunch. McCrone, you got a banana? Can I have your banana? McCrone, can I have it? You know, so it's like some of our kids, they don't have I can't even talk, access to simple things that some of us find simple, such as food. So it's a big deal. I had some kids that came and talked to me after school because we found out like after school. So for the most part, the kids were gone, but there were still a couple kids here. And I'm like, well, how y'all feeling about it? And like the reality is, some of our kids don't have the best home situations, and so school for them is an escape. It's a place for them to get away from home, get away from drama, and to be able to be with friends and just a support system that extends their household. And so I do worry about those kids. I had a couple of them come by, and you could just see the looks in their face, like 3 weeks. Like, like some of the kids are really sad. I mean, I think a lot of times when we think about breaks, even like summer break or Christmas break, which is 2 weeks, it's like, oh, did you guys have fun on vacation? And it's like, for some of these kids, this is not a vacation for them. You know what I mean? Like, this is not it. And so it makes me really sad because I worry about those kids, knowing some of their housing situations, and knowing like how much of a safety net this school is, and just schools in general in the public health. I mean, not public health, but the public education sector is like, it's very sad to me. So I'm just sharing with you guys some of my thoughts about what's going on with the coronavirus and how it's affecting, people on like a small scale, on a large scale. I think about the economy. I mean, even as teachers, like we're paid through taxes, but you got to work to have taxes taken out. So if people aren't working, then it's almost like, okay, well then what happens, with some of that money? You know what I mean? And so I'm just like, oh, MG, like it's only March, y'all. We just in 2020. And then I'm trying to think what else. I should have wrote down a couple more points I wanted to talk about, but those are like the big things that I'm thinking about. Daycare for our kids. Of course, like I said, we got the high school kids. They're all excited. Like, hey, of course, they can pretty much take care of themselves. But like some parents, their oldest kids are in elementary school. So they don't necessarily have a setup for what am I going to do with my child. And so that's really sad as well, because it's like, what are they going to do with their kids? Parents are going to have to be taking off work. missing days at work. And then, you're talking about possible like health providers who may have to take off work to tend to their children. Like, you just don't know like what sector and what influence they have and what influence this will have as well. And then, like I said, I mean, even with the high schoolers, like for some of these kids, like this is their safe haven as far as like staying out of trouble. So now these kids got 3 weeks, and I'm just gonna be praying like, Lord, just keep my kids safe while they're going for these unexpected 3 weeks. And I just hope that they make good decisions while they're gone. And then they just been canceling so many things. So like my kids, they made it to regions for basketball. So they were so excited about the game. And today was supposed to be their game. So I want to say either yesterday or the day before yesterday, they had told us that the kids actually were not going to be able to have like right after lunch period. One of the boys on the basketball team was like, man, they canceled our game. I was like, you lying. And he's like, for real. But then it makes sense because if they suspended the NBA, I feel like it's all getting shut down at this point. You talking about billions of dollars industry, but I don't even know the extent to it. So pretty big deal. Um, and so my kids is like, yeah, like pretty much like the game is canceled or suspended, or I don't know what it really means. And I was like, let me see. Like, and you could just see the look of just defeat on their face. They're like, man, like I know we ain't been doing all this practicing and we ain't gonna be able to play our game. So I think for me, it's just like I like to have a little bit of a plan, like I don't need to know everything in advance, but for me it's just like I just want to know a little bit of what's going on. So it's pretty heartbreaking just to know like the devastation that could occur from this virus, and just to see like some of the fear that people have, just the uncertainties about it. It's pretty big. I have a lot of kids who have immunocompromised parents that they live with, and then they have grandparents also that they live with. And I think that even for them, that they're nervous. They understand the implications of if they get sick and what that could possibly mean for their loved ones. So a lot of my kids are taking it serious, but like I said, a lot of times it doesn't affect you until it affects you. Oh, my brother's online. Um, hey Logan, hey brother. Yo, are you and your family okay? Yeah, we get over here right now. We get over here. Um, so yeah, I'm well. I'm in good spirits. I was just talking about just the implications of this coronavirus and was telling folks how they went ahead and just closed our school system for the next 3 weeks. And so we go to school tomorrow, but we stop classes from Monday until April 3rd, I want to say. So then, okay, now we can talk a little bit about the selfish side though. I had a spring break planned. So I was planning on leaving during our spring break. It's like always next to Easter. So I am no longer going to be able to have my spring break because this is considered a spring break. But as you guys know, like, is it really a spring break? They're canceling concerts. They're canceling, at least in my state, any event that has more than 100 attendees has to be canceled. So it's just like, I mean, what are you really going to be doing for the break? I was trying to live my best life, Logan said, side note, your earrings are cool. Thank you. I got them from the dollar store. They for $1. Well, no, I didn't get them from the dollar store. I got them from the hair store for $1. So thank you. But yeah, I got a lot of like thick earrings and stuff. You see my locks out here, brother, flourishing? They're flourishing. Let me give y'all a little update. I'm 5 months in my lock journey. I don't know, y'all. I feel like y'all haven't seen my locks in a while because I usually have like a head wrap on because I try not to pick at my hair too much. Then I just like pin it. I don't know if y'all can see. Hold on. And then I just pin it to the side and let them fall a little bit. And my kids, they be like, you growing, your hair growing. I'm like, thank you. And so all my kids who have lock, I buy like the little clips, and we all have clips on our head. So that's like our little connectedness with our lock journey. So yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. Yes, natural hair popping. I wanted locks, but my hair ain't act right. I know that's disrespectful. That is real disrespectful. Yeah, I love when my hair was shaved. I was actually gonna keep it shaved for a minute, but then I was like, let me just go ahead and start my locks, because that was one of the reasons why I shaved my head off. Because I was like, I'm gonna start locks, but then when I shaved my head, I was like, oh, I feel like my best life, and so yeah, I just went ahead and kept my locks. I mean, not my locks. I just went ahead and kept it cut for over a year, and then I've been growing out my hair for a little over a year now, but I started my locks 5 months ago. So yeah, I'm 5 months in my little journey, and I'm enjoying it. It hasn't been too bad. Like I said, I wrap it up most of the time just so I don't touch it all the time, but I like it. So yeah, so Logan, what are your thoughts about the coronavirus? How is it impacting you and your household? And are you guys still in school, or have they made any mandates for you guys not to be in school at this time? I need an update for what y'all doing. And I don't know if you saw the beginning of the conversation or not, but I was just saying like some of my thoughts about the schools closing in regards to the impact that it will have on our kids and the impact it'll have like on our economy. And then, like I said, I mean, a lot of the things that the kids enjoy doing are like going to like, pretty decent sized events. And I'm like, they're going to be shutting that down. So I'm very shocked. As of right now, let me look and check. I don't think the movie theaters are closed, but I don't know why that wouldn't be on the list. Okay, let's see. I just Googled movie theaters. So it says Americans split over whether movie theaters should close amid coronavirus. So that was a report from Hollywood Reporter one day ago. And it says U.S. movie theaters aim to stay open amid coronavirus concerns. That was also a day ago. And then 39 minutes ago, though, the Wall Street Journal said that the U.S. movie theaters see temporary closures as strong possibilities. So how do you feel about that? Like, especially these kids won't be able to go to movies. What if they end up closing the malls? Just the things that you would think that some people may want to do during the spring break. Like, those aren't really viable options at this point. Let's see. Logan said, thus far, they'll let us know whether or not we have school. I haven't personally been affected, but everything is closing down. Oh yeah, there's like no Lysol at the stores, hand sanitizer. Hold on. So I had like some extra hand sanitizers in my car, so I had like 3 of these. I kept 2 of them, and then one of them I ended up giving to one of my friends because they just had a baby 2 days ago. So I was like, I need some hand sanitizer in your house. And they're sold out everywhere. So I'm happy I got on. My kids, oh my gosh, they have been like the germaphobes of everything. Like, they've been coming in my room like, Miss Cole, I need my hand sanitizer. And then, because I like my room clean from germs anyways, and I need to go ahead and wipe down my little area for the evening anyways. Hold on. But I also got Lysol wipes and stuff, because these is a hard find now too. So have you been to like the grocery store in the last couple days? And if so, what has been your experience? I did go to Sam's Club last night. Hold on, wiping stuff down. I did go to Sam's Club last night. it was pretty packed, but it wasn't like super, super packed. I didn't go down all the rows because I knew pretty much what I was going in there to get. And it was something for my classroom. So it didn't look like it was like bare or anything, but from what I'm hearing, I have some kids that work at grocery stores. They were telling me that a lot of the grocery stores are out of, sorry you guys, are out of a lot of things, which I'm not really shocked about. So yeah, what are grocery stores looking like your way? Have you been to any of the stores? What are some essential items that you feel like you need during this time? And then did you have plans um, what is it called? Oh, for spring break. Louise Salas. I live in Ontario, California. Okay, that's where I was supposed to be going for spring break. I usually go to Riverside when I come to California. So, as of now, I'm not worried about flying into Ontario because Ontario's, is pretty small and, pretty decent airport. However, I don't know like what's going to happen with those plans. Like I said, my spring break is canceled, so I'm not going to be coming to California. I did try to look to change my flight time to come to Ontario on like next week, but they were like $500 for one way. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's too much. So you said I attend a community college and we were notified to transition off into remote instruction. The schools are mostly staying open for their resources though. And yeah, no, that's a big thing. That's what I was saying earlier in the video is like the resources that our schools provide are like, man, they're so critical for so many of our kids. And so that's why our our school superintendent, she definitely wasn't planning on canceling schools, I don't think, anytime soon. But when the governor shut it down, at this point, it's shut down. So I don't think there's much say so that goes into that. And now they're just, hopefully, they have some time to finalize how we're going to get our kids food. I was talking to one of the teachers earlier, and we were talking about, like, well, how are our kids going to eat? And she had suggested, like, well, maybe so the bus drivers can keep working, maybe they can, like, pick up, like, a breakfast and lunch for the kids and drop them off at the kids' bus stops. And then for the kids who are walkers, they can walk to school in the morning and they can get both a breakfast and lunch, like sack lunch to take home. I think it's a possible option, but I hope they have something. But my concern too is like if they're closing down gatherings of like more than 100, is like, no, I'm so sorry, excuse me. Is like, what are we going to do in regards to like our parks and recreation centers and our libraries? Like, what is that going to look like? Are they going to try to keep those open for options for kids, or are those going to get shut down as well? Let's see. Logan said people were stocking up at Walmart like the world was ending. I bought food for my dogs, but my wife and I feel like we're praying and pleading the blood. Oh, definitely. Can you say it again? It's crazy. I was looking on YouTube yesterday, and I had saw this pastor. He had gave a prophetic word, I think like in 2018, about like this, about a virus coming and attacking like the world. So it's kind of crazy now we've seen it all come to pass. Sorry, I need a little swig of water. What time is it? Let's see. It's 6:13 my time. I'm just at 3 o'clock, so I got some ways to go. Oh my gosh. But no, I know the stores look crazy. That's why I've been trying to avoid them myself. I feel like I got my essentials that I need, so I should be okay. That's what I'm thinking, but it's like, I don't know. It's just hard because, like, I was talking to my dad earlier, and he was like, he's never experienced anything like this before. I don't think we have, like, a point of reference as far as experiencing something like this besides, like, we've had blizzards before where the schools have had to, like, close down, like, back in the day. And they used to, I think they did, like, some type of programming on the television for the kids. But that was, like I said, back in the day. So that was a little different situation. Let's see. Um, Ante Raku said, hello, it's been a while. Greetings from Canada. The fear is also setting in here. Hey, hey, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, my brother Logan said, hey to you, Ante. And Louise. He said, hey to both of you guys. So, Louise, how are you feeling as well about like school being shut down? Do you guys feel like the fear is warranted, or do you guys feel like we're overreacting? Do you feel like we've learned our lessons from the Spanish flu back in the 1900s and we're just trying to prevent that from happening? Or do you guys feel like this is just the virus of the decade? Or I guess the presidency, since a lot of people have theories that around presidential election times that there are particular viruses that happen to come about. So yeah, what are you guys thinking? And then how are you guys feeling about our president's like response to everything? Do you guys feel like he's doing a pretty good job? Do you guys want to see more from him? How are you guys feeling about the CDC? Like, what are y'all feeling? How are you guys feeling about who? Do you guys like? I just wonder like how long the virus has really been around. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm still here. I'm trying to get my life together.
Girl, you can have 3 weeks to get it together.
Well, I gotta get a packet for these children.
To give them for tomorrow.
Yeah, because I'm just like, especially because I'm the only science content that's tested. And as of right now, they ain't canceling testing. So I'm like, I'm expected to make sure I'm trying to fill in some gaps for the kids.
Well, I told my AP kids, like, that test is still happening in May, so you're still having class.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm like, until further notice, so.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do with my engineering and robotics kids because they need special software.
Right.
And if they don't have that, they have that at home, but it's not like they can go to the library and do it because you have to download it.
Yeah, and then I was saying, like, as well as, like, we don't know if they're closing the schools, and I'm live on my little YouTube, so.
Oh, Lord.
Just letting you know, but they're fine. They're wonderful, wonderful people. But I was saying we don't know if the kids have access to the internet or if the libraries are going to get closed.
Yeah, I just got an email from the libraries today that said that they're still monitoring the situation, but they're currently staying open. They're canceling classes and programming.
Right, but the library is the babysitter for a lot of our parents. So you know what I mean. Since we don't have school, are they going to be like, okay, we can't take on this influx, and how are we going to feed our babies?
I'm figuring that there are going to be some resources that are going to open up in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably some churches.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe some churches.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I was saying. Miss G, we were talking and she was saying that it would be a good idea if the bus drivers could like meet the kids at the bus stop and drop off like in the mornings a breakfast and a lunch. And then the walker kids, if they could just walk to school and then get their breakfast and lunch from school. So I was like, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't think it was gonna come to this. Did you think it was gonna come to this?
I did.
Did you? Tell me more.
Well, just because I think that it's spreading so quickly that in order to just keep the basically contamination of it down,
Mm-hmm.
our kids go home and they're around other people who've been other places, and if you don't start shutting some things down, limiting where people are going,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of behind the 8 ball because like Chase
Mm-hmm.
has already closed down and have their people working from home.
Mm.
Oh gosh, who's the other? There's several big companies nearby who they've been working from home already.
Mm-hmm.
Companies are not allowing people to come into work who've been out of the country on vacation or been on cruise ships on vacation.
Right.
For 14 days, and so I'm not at all surprised that.
So I guess I thought it would happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen in this time frame. Like, I thought that Columbus City School was like, we was going to try to take a little bit of time and like come up with a plan. So I was not expecting today.
I think they would have, and I know other school districts were more vocal in having been in conversations about it already.
Mhm.
I think the governor came out and said, I mean, that.
Yeah, he shut it down because I heard they were like meeting today to talk about it, but it was just like, whoo, smack in the face. But like I said, I'm sad because I'm like thinking about the hourly employees that we have. Is like, you know, they don't get paid during breaks. They don't get paid for breaks and stuff, and I'm just thinking about them. And then I'm thinking about my spring break that I'm not gonna be able to enjoy because I was going to Cali. So now I can't go to Cali.
I hear there's some pretty cheap airline tickets right now. I might change that to one.
So I'm looking, but the flights are not like cheap for next week or like the next week and a half. I know, right?
Hey, look.
So
I'm not sad at all because I have been so overloaded with work and just the fact that I felt like a huge weight was just lifted today. It was like a gift today.
that's what I'm like. I know this is definitely the time of year for burnout for a lot of educators, for sure. I guess
We've been in full gear for this trip.
Mhm.
And the trip got canceled, so now I'm in full gear canceling everything.
right. I
You
know.
know, communicating with parents about.
So she teaches
modifications of the trip.
STEM, and they had like a really big trip that was planned. Where were you guys going?
San Antonio.
San Antonio for the kids. So it's kind of I know it's hard for the kids because you guys have been working like really hard
Well, and
for the trip.
right, so
Mhm.
we've been trying to make all these adjustments. We've been trying to find other ways that they can compete because there's like 6 competitions they participate in on this trip.
Mhm.
So we were going to do a virtual
And
competition.
then you guys been doing the fundraising, like
Well, that'll all carry over except for the seniors. I
Okay.
have 5 seniors that, you know,
yeah.
but everything we've done will still up for next year.
Mhm.
But, you know, the kids have worked so hard all year, and so now we had at the end of the month. Matter of fact, I just got done sending the lady an email.
Mhm.
We were going to do the racing competition virtually.
Mhm.
You know, the other teams across the country because that got canceled.
Oh
But
wow,
now that we're done, it's happening at the end of this month. Well, we can't participate now because they closed school down.
that is true.
So, you know, now it's like, what does that mean for us?
Mhm.
Because will this carry over to next year? Or, you know, I just don't want the kids to be discouraged because they've worked all year.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't want. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I know, because Samantha, she came in here. She was like, and I was like, I know, like, you know, and for some of the kids, like, I mean, I think about myself, but I do think about them because I'm like, for some of our kids, like, this is really like their safe haven. Like, this is like a getaway from drama household. You know what I mean?
Oh, I have no doubt I will be seeing some of my kids at my house. Okay? Let's be clear, because
Okay.
they've already started.
Well, they're like planning, like, we're coming over there.
Yes, so I'm not, you know, I have no doubt that I will spend time with them. It's just that we won't be able to be here.
Right.
doing
Right.
it.
So yeah, well, I hope that you are able to gain some peace and some serenity, and that you can breathe, and that you can meditate, and that when you come back, that you will just be able to be the best version of yourself.
Yes. I'm starting with a self-quarantine.
Yes, self-quarantine. I love it. I told the kids, I said, y'all done watched my block, so y'all can cross that off your list.
I haven't yet. I kept telling her, don't tell me. I'm not listening. My daughter watched them last
Uh-huh.
night, and she was, I said, I checked in on her. I'm like, what's wrong with you? She goes, this is sad. And I said, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Oh, so I think I'm gonna make a list up here with Netflix, and I'm gonna have the kids put their Netflix recommendations just in case they don't have some, huh?
Do you do All American too?
Yeah, I do.
I haven't seen that either yet.
Okay.
I'm behind. on
Okay.
everything.
That's what because I only watch TV during breaks. Like, I don't watch TV throughout the year. So now I do have a break. I am definitely going to be Netflix binging.
Yeah, those are, we do those two. We do mixed-ish, grownish, blackish, and that's really about it.
Have you watched Queen of the South?
No.
It's good.
Is it?
It's good.
Okay. Is it Netflix?
It's Netflix.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I like the kids. They like Queen of the South.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All my
it's good.
shows keep going off because I was oh my gosh, Kerry Washington show. What the heck?
Oh, what's the show with Kerry
Olivia
Washington?
Pope.
Oh, Olivia Pope. What is it?
Oh my goodness.
With the president?
Scandal.
Scandal.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's gone. So my second one, because I would do that and How to Get Away with Murder,
Mhm.
it's supposed to be coming back on sometime for this final season.
Okay, on Netflix.
No, on regular TV.
Oh, regular TV.
It's about
Okay.
to be done. So yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is good. I want to catch up on some reading, some that, some.
I am going to go to the library hopefully before they close and try to get as many books as I can, and I'm going to read. I'm going to enjoy reading. I'm going to enjoy the time, but like I said, I do think about like everybody affected by it, like people who are,
Yeah, after
outside.
rest, I'll think about it.
You think about it. You are silly. Well, enjoy yourself.
I'm gonna do me first though.
Okay.
If I'm not.
You got to make sure you are right. Okay, first.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, bye. Okay. Okay, hey you guys, I'm back. I just had a little convo with one of my coworkers. So let's see. Auntie said, hello, I hope you are all staying safe. Our school for my younger sibling is still going on, but the thought of online school is also becoming a topic now. Oh, wow. So how are like the Canadians, how are you guys like handling it over there? I know you mentioned that the fear is also like settling in there. Logan said, my wife said it was all for a political agenda. Not sure how big of a fan she is of our current president. Understandable. Louise said, hello, Logan. Well, I think there is a big misunderstanding, but I think preventing big gatherings may help to prevent further spread of the virus. My big concern is also for homeless students. Can you say that again? I was just thinking they did a special yesterday on our news talking about just the homeless community in general. And they are definitely a high risk population. And like you said, like our students, like, oh my gosh, it's awful. It is awful. So I am going to be looking into that further as well, because they said they're going to be making a lot of precautions at the homeless shelters as well, as far as like testing and who they're going to be allowing in. So I'm like, ugh. I am happy though that the weather is starting to warm up a little bit here, and I think that's why a lot of things have been canceled going into the end of March, going into April, because I think the thought is that with the weather warming up, that maybe it will have like a seasonal effect and that'll start to wane off. Let's see, Ante said robotics and engineering class. Whoa, is this a high school class now? It is at our high school. Yes, it is. That's pretty cool. I wish we had that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. No, I get sidetracked all the time. Obviously, you got to see an example of that. So yeah, but yeah, we do have a robotics and engineering class. She's a STEM teacher, and they were preparing for this big competition. So the kids are a little disappointed, but understandable. Logan said, my wife and I were talking about students without food for homeless kids. That's my primary concern. Well, I know like the homeless community is definitely a big part of my heart and of like my mission and the things that I do. So I'm pretty sure I already said the other day, I said earlier, some of the teachers came up to me. They was like, Miss Cromwell, we already know you about to be fixing sandwiches and reaching out to your kids, talking about who needs some food and trying to bring people food. And they are very right. I am, because I have an online app called Remind Me app. So I am going to check in, because the kids can message me privately, and I'm going to be checking in with my kids to make sure they're good. Because if they're not, I will be knocking on doors to be making sure that my kids are fine and that they have, the necessities that they need. Ante said, I'm an hourly employee who works minimum wage while I'm taking a break from university. I deal with public all the time, so I'm pretty scared sometimes. Wash those hands. Oh yeah, no, definitely. We will definitely be keeping you in our prayers, Ante. For sure. And can you type your pronunciation, because I feel like I am butchering your name. Please write it down if you don't mind. But yeah, so I have like my hand sanitizer and stuff, but I've been telling the kids, like, y'all need to be washing your hands. Like, hand sanitizer doesn't kill as many germs as washing your hands. Wash your hands. But yeah, my kid, and then I don't know, one of the teachers thought it was a good idea, not a science teacher, but another teacher thought it was a good idea to give kids gloves today. And the kids literally like had these same pair of gloves on all day. Like I was so disturbed. And when they came in there, my classroom, I was like, take them off now. Like you literally touching everything, more things that you would touch if it was your hand because you think you have these gloves on and you're protecting yourself, yet you're spreading germs everywhere in this school. Like it's awful. I don't know who told them that was a good idea. Let's see. We said I can imagine. I really admire teachers who are working hard to ensure that students have the best resources during this time. Even all other professionals who are working hard. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Um, let's see. Logan said, if you don't mind me asking, what are you studying at university, Ante? And Ante is studying microbiology in university, but I'm thinking of switching into nursing program that's coming fall term. Wish me luck. I hope I get in. Look at y'all, nursing representatives, okay? Logan, where you at? What you thinking? Are you still is nursing still kind of high on your list right now? Oh, my username pronunciation is Entei. It's Entei. It's a Pokemon name. Okay, got you, Entei. I'm good. I got it now. I ain't gonna mess it up. See, you had me call Ante. So I don't know Entei the Pokemon. I just know. I know just the basic ones. I don't know Entei. Sorry. But shout out to anime though. Do you watch anime? What's your favorite? I am gonna watch some animes over the break. We actually just started an anime club at my school. Logan said, nice. Why the change to nursing? Nice. Why the change to nursing? So y'all been running my mouth, but I have not. I don't even have my computer on now. Let me see, try to turn my stuff on so I can print a couple more things for my kids. But I'm so happy. Like my kids, they just have a quiz tomorrow and we were doing like a review game type day. But my kids are about to be so turned tomorrow. So I'm glad that tomorrow is already kind of a relaxed day for them. Because if not, oh my goodness. Like I'll be shocked if there's a lot of kids here tomorrow, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people just going to go ahead and hold their kids home tomorrow. And I don't necessarily blame them either. And then another thing, our grading period is over in like a week and a half. So I'm just like, what are we supposed to do with that? Because a lot of kids are trying to get their lives together and get their grades up. But what I'm hearing is that they're going to extend the grading period out so that kids can still have an opportunity to turn things in. But again, there's so many like unanswered questions. So I'm not sure what we're actually going to do. Entei said, I decided to switch because I just prefer to help people more than working on the lab by myself. That is true. Logan, have you ever done any research before? And Entei, are you currently working in the lab? If so, what type of lab are you working on and what type of like research? And yes, I do watch anime. Represent, you're a super cool teacher now. Hey, my favorite one right now is My Hero Academia. If you like action, oh yeah, the kids love My Hero, love. They like Full Metal Alchemist. My kids had gave me. I gotta find my little list. I had it somewhere. They had gave me a list of some animes to watch, but I am still stuck on this anime that I watched a couple years ago, and I'm just really sad that it didn't take off like it should have. And it was really like, it was phenomenal. And they don't have it though, but it's called Claymore, and it was so good. But yeah, they don't have it. Like it didn't really get really far, but it was really good. Like it was really good. Okay. Let's see. Logan said, I watch anime. I think it'll be cool to start a club at my school. Yes, the kids, I mean, literally, my kids, they love anime. You should start a club at your school. They'll be excited. They'll be super excited. Y'all just watch some anime, have little discussions. Like, it's good. Inte said fruit baskets if you want fluffy, lovely stuff. New season coming this spring. Oh yeah, I seen Demon Slayer. Yeah, I saw Demon Slayer. Inte said, oh, I'm not working in the lab because I live in rural area and the lab is in the big city, too far for me. Okay, completely understandable. And are you from Canada? Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get my computer on. Don't mind me. Yeah, are you from Canada? Logan said, I want to work in the medical field, clinical, but I'm also interested in research/teaching. So, Logan, what type of research you interested in? Okay, I'm logging in because like I said, I've been supposed to be up here getting these little packets together and have been over here running my mouth as always. So, let's see. I got like a little study guide I'm giving them for the air test, and then I got some questions I'm gonna give them. So I don't want to like overwhelm them, like you got to do X, Y, Z, but like I don't want them like not doing anything. Let's see. Louise said, that's awesome. Logan and Inte, I was very interested in medical field for a while. Tough field, but rewarding. Yes, yes. So what are you interested in now? And why the change? Because you said you were interested in it. So if you don't mind sharing that with us. You guys, and I didn't eat lunch today, but I just ate lunch like now. Like right before I got on the call with you guys, so like 5:30. I was like, oh, maybe I should eat my lunch from today. It's just been a hectic day. Inte said, that's a big jug of water. Where'd you get that from? I got it from Amazon. So it just has like little motivations. Like I said, I'm not where I need to be, but I'm not where I used to be. So I'm going to go ahead and celebrate that. So yeah, that's why I'm like, let me drink my little water. But it's hard to be drinking a whole bunch of water at school because you just can't go to the restroom whenever you want to. So I have to kind of time it. So I drink a lot of my water in the evening and like in the morning. And then throughout the day, I have to like time it. Oh, and it's 1 gallon. And this is Built Life. But you can get them from like Marshall's. I don't know what you guys have there, but like Marshall's, TJ Maxx and stuff, they have those. There type of stores. Logan said, I did a social science research project in college, but I have never worked in the lab. I dream of making a discovery. You know, I'd be praying. I'd be like, Lord, just plant the seed in my mind. Like, I'll do the work. Just plant the seed. That's what I'd be hoping for. Like, just give me the next best invention, the next best business idea. Like, I just want to be an innovator, you know? I be thinking about that all the time. But yeah, I think research is super dope. For like 2 seconds, I was like considering going back to school and like possibly doing something where I could do research. But then I'm like, wouldn't want to go for like a PhD per se in like social science because I wouldn't want to be like micro focused. Because there's so many things that I want to like explore research wise, and like I feel like when you're working towards like a PhD, that you have to be like very like micro focused on your project, and that just is no interest of me. And then what was your research project in college, if you don't mind sharing? And then Logan said, during undergrad, my plan was to study chem/bio and apply for MD PhD program. Oh, okay, that's quite impressive. That's intense. I got a couple of friends who are doing MD PhD programs right now as we speak. So they're in their 4th and 5th years. So they completed their first 2 years of med school and then take their break for their PhD, and then they jump in for their third and fourth year of med school. And then they take step one after the second year, and then they go into the PhD program. So pretty cool. And Tay said, "Oh my gosh, I've seen one of those jugs from someone in the gym. That's why it looked pretty familiar." Okay. Ooh, I wonder if they're gonna keep the gyms open. Cause I will say, if the gyms is open, I'm about to be trying to get my life together. I gained like 20 pounds last year, but I'm about to shred them off this year. And I'm actually, random side note, I'm getting ready to sign up for a 10K, just because I feel like I needed just an extra little motivator, to make sure I'm being active the way I need to be. Because I will say, like, teaching is a very giving profession, and it's easy to neglect yourself. So you have to be very intentional about taking care of yourself. And I think that's why one of my coworkers, when she was coming in, she was like, "Whew, like I needed this." I feel like a lot of teachers are at that place, especially this time in the school year. It's just a lot of high stakes with testing, and we haven't officially had a break since Christmas break. And so I think a lot of teachers are definitely like ready to like settle down for spring break. So this is definitely a blessing for a lot of teachers, and just a way for them to like rejuvenate themselves. So definitely understandable, because the burnout can definitely be real. And I know I be putting myself on the back burner all the time, and that's why I haven't been on here consistently, but things are going to change. I got some exciting things that are going on this year. I'm moving to a new location, which I'll tell you guys later on and give y'all some details about. So I got some exciting things, but I am definitely going to be focusing on taking better care of just myself and making sure I have time to do things that I enjoy. Like this morning, I get up around 4:30, but I got up so I could paint my nails, because I'm just like, like I usually always have my nails painted, but I'm like, oh, I don't have time. So I was like, oh, you're gonna paint your nails today. And I told one of my kids to hold me accountable. So when they saw me today, they were like, "Miss Girl, let me see your nails." And they was done today. So she was super excited for me. And then let's see. Louise said, "I feel it's not what the Lord is calling me to do." Okay. Praise to that. And I'm glad you know that. I'm currently studying philosophy and psychology. I'm interested in research in psych or clinical psychology, but definitely teaching. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's crazy. I was actually, about a year ago, I was considered, after like my dismissal from med school. Do y'all know it's been almost 2 years since I've been dismissed from med school? But about a year ago, I was actually considering doing a clinical psych program, just because I was going to go into psychiatry, and I felt like clin psych would actually be more aligned with what I would want to do, more so than like the medication prescribing component of psychiatry. So yeah, that's awesome. Entay said, "Speaking of testing, have any of you guys experienced exam anxiety?" Well, you're speaking to someone right now for sure. I developed one when I started university, and was so hard to focus because I freeze up when I'm taking my exam. I will say, I don't feel like I've always experienced testing anxiety, but I felt like when I was studying for my STEP exam, that was my first time really experiencing it on that level, because I've been always pretty like laid back and easygoing, and like what will be, but like that STEP definitely puts you in a whole different mindset. And during that time, like I didn't realize that it was like stress or anxiety. Like I didn't put a name to it when I was preparing my first couple times, but my stress ended up showing up in me and like my GI system. Like I really thought while I was studying for like my STEP exam that I had like IBS. Like you cannot tell me. I was like, something is going on. Like I have to have some like type of like inflammatory disorder going on with my bowels, because it was awful. Like, oh, it was, I don't even think about it. It was so so bad. But it's crazy because, you know, after I took my final attempt for my step exam and I got my results back and found out I had failed and got dismissed from med school, like when I tell you I had zero GI problems, zero. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly what it was. It was stress. And I just didn't know that because, you know, a lot of times they talk about anxiety and they're talking about like the heart palpitations and the sweating and sweaty hands and stuff like that. Like that was not me at all. It was all like GI for me. But I definitely understand test taking anxiety. And my after I failed my exam the first time, I started going to therapy, and my therapy was also focused on test taking anxiety. But I definitely knows after, was it the second time? Maybe it was after I failed the second time I had started going to therapy. I don't remember. I think it was the second time I failed. It was the second time I failed. And so I started going, and I felt like it helped, but it's just, there's really no true, I don't know, there's like no true like simulation for the test until like you're actually in a test. So I would try to like mimic the testing environment, but there was nothing like actually being in that actual environment, and especially because it's a 8-hour, you know, testing day. So yeah, it's definitely intense for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely happy I don't have to deal with those GI issues though anymore. It's absolutely awful. And let's see. What else are we saying? Logan said obviously that didn't work out. God was like, nah, fam. My research project was research on the history of Dr. King. Oh, that's pretty dope. Entei said, and yes, more power to you, girl. I can't wait to see your growth too. Hey, thank you. Sounds cool, Louise. And Logan said, as a matter of fact, one of my good friends just finished his PhD in psychology. Oh yeah, no, that's super nice. That's pretty nice. But yeah, so Entei, what would you say are some things that like you have been doing to work through your test taking anxiety? And then Logan and Louise, have you guys experienced test taking anxiety? And if so, what are some things that you have done to work through it? But like I said, mine was definitely like through med school. Like there were a lot of like intense exams and moments, but like I don't feel like I necessarily experienced anxiety. It was just like, okay, I got it. I did the best I can type of mentality. But like I said, maybe it was just a pressure that I put on myself and that I felt like, others put on me while in school that really just like put the weight of the anxiety on me. And then Entei said, I sometimes wish going to therapy is not taboo in my Asian culture. Having some kind of stress is seen as kind of weakness, and it really hurts sometimes, but we still live in. Oh, I definitely understand. Same with the African American community. I mean, I think it's something that like we're starting to talk about more, but I definitely think there's still a lot of stigma that's associated with therapy. But I am like an advocate for therapy for sure. And unfortunately, like I think that when people talk about therapy and they advocate for therapy, they don't really talk about like the realities of the process because the struggle is real finding good therapists as well. And I think some people have an experience with therapy, and if it's a trash experience, like that's all they can, use as their lens, their perspective. And so sometimes therapy can get a negative rap because of negative people. I know for my experience in med school and with my testing, my therapist, he was decent. My second therapist was better, but my first one was decent, but I feel like I ended up being more of like his therapist, if that makes sense, because I'm definitely like very high functioning as far as like being able to like analyze things that I'm experiencing and being able to express myself in like an effective emotional way. And I don't think that he was used to experiencing that type of client, so he didn't really know how to navigate um, with someone with like my personality. So I think he struggled a bit, and I feel like the sessions will often turn into me like kind of being a support for him. So it was kind of weird, and I did want to dig more into the test taking aspect, but I feel like he wasn't really skilled in that area, even though the place marketed themselves as though that was an area of focus. I think the focus was more so for like younger kids. Um, and I wish that I would have been able to advocate for myself a little bit more during that time, and that I would have like made a switch sooner than what I did when I ended up switching to another therapist. But I had already basically been like getting ready to take my test, so it was just kind of, the experience was what it was. Intake said I use breathing exercises when I take tests to prevent anxiety. I also use visualization. Oh, those are two really good techniques. I know they gave me um, beta blockers. My doctor gave me beta blockers to help with like my GI issues as well. And it's crazy because I had a whole strategy. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to second guess. Like whatever I put down is what I put down. So for me, second guessing used to be like I would click an answer, but then I would change and click something else. But then all that did was switch to a different coping mechanism. So I would like switch the answers in my mind before I put them down. So I wasn't like, actually visually like, let me switch the answer. But in my mind, the damage was kind of done. So I feel like that's something that I wasn't able to work through as far as like my test taken for my STEP exam. Logan said definitely. I didn't experience that until first semester general biology. And I'm assuming that you're talking about test taking anxiety. And Logan said, in the African American community, therapy is viewed as for crazy people. Oh, most definitely. And especially for African American men, it's even more of a stigma. And like even with like my kids, like a lot of my students, which is predominantly African Americans, they also deal with a lot of depression, anxiety, but a lot of them, they don't have the language to really vocalize what it is. And so like that's something that even as a biology teacher that I try to, allow my kids to like express how they feel. Like I have a kid, and I think I did like a little video probably a long time ago on my channel. I'm talking about feeling some type of way and how our feelings actually have a name, and like being able to dig into that place. So yeah, like for me, I feel like I've done a lot of like self work. So I have like a lot of workbooks that I've went through, and I also like to like journal to help me. But I will say what did help as well with kind of just my anxiety leading up to the test is I was doing like yoga. And for each day of my yoga, I don't know if you guys heard of Yoga with Adrienne, but that's my girl. But for each day of yoga, I would get like I would just pick one word to kind of sum up my experience. So it would be like if in that practice I was doing like a lot of stretching, it would be like stretch or something like that. And I would basically, at the end of the evening, I would like write down like the word stretch, what that meant to me, just kind of in that moment. So like, stretch, like it's important for you, as to stretch, how we think about things, and, what possibilities look like. And like, I would just translate it to like every component of my life. Um, Flexibility, strength, resilience, balance. Like those are just like different themes that I would get from each day. And every day I would choose like a different theme. I need to start doing that again. It was actually very, very helpful. But yeah, every night I would just kind of sit down and really dig deep into like what that word meant like for me in that moment. But it was really, really good. So yeah, but Inte, I know it's definitely taboo, but I would definitely encourage you, if you haven't been in therapy, to possibly look for a therapist in your area. And like I said, people don't always talk about like the pros and cons of therapy, because I will say some of these therapists are not good. And I feel like that can like slight your experience. But I feel like if you really shop around, it's okay to recognize like I'm not getting what I feel like I need from this experience, and it's okay to find a new therapist. I'm like the queen of like finding friends therapy, the therapist in the area, as well. And yeah, I just say definitely try it out. I think it's very beneficial. It's helpful. I think we all have different wounds that we carry along, and I think it's good to just have. Um, I think it's good to have like an unbiased opinion, and to really just help you take the time. I think the good thing about therapy for me is the fact that you, especially if you are like a giver and you are someone who um, like gives with your whole heart, and like you're like an empath, and like you are like always like stretching yourself for other people, I think it's hard to just be like, it's time to focus on me, or like what do I do to like refill my cup so that I don't feel depleted, so that I can continue to care for others um, the way that I do. I think therapy like forces you to sit and to like focus on you. And so that's why I think it's excellent, because if you can't do it on your own, therapy is going to force you, whether it's an hour, 2 hours a week, whatever you do, it's going to force you to take the much time, the much needed time that you need to take for yourself, and to really like dig into like, where you are in that moment, and to really just start to heal some of your wounds, because we all have our own wounds, whether intentional or unintentional. Louise said, I agree. Therapy is a process, let alone the process of finding a therapist. Yes. Establishing good communication with the therapist can be hard, but you have to really put your needs first in the process. Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. That's some sound advice. Thank you, Louise, for adding that. Let's see. Hold on. I'm over here. I told you I was gonna be acting like I'm gonna be productive. I swear I'll be living at my school though. So I stay here a lot. So it is gonna be weird not being here for 3 weeks. But okay, I digress. Let's see. Um, Intay said, I'm definitely an empath. I can never seem to focus on myself first, because I feel much better when I help people out first. It makes me feel good when I help others first. I'm pretty aware of my own emotions, but it's hard to deal with it sometimes. Oh no, I completely understand. I will say, there's a book. Let me see. Got one of my little handy dandy little journals. Let me see. It's a book that I like that talks about emotions. And if you've already heard of it, let me know. I'm looking for it now. Like when I read books, I'm always like writing notes and stuff. So I'm looking for this book that I read last year. Sorry, I'm looking for. I'm gonna find. Oh, it is called. It's called The Heart of the Soul. And I really like the book. I don't necessarily agree with all of like the new age concepts, to be honest, as a Christian. But I do think there's a lot of great takeaways from this book. It's called The Heart of the Soul, and it's by Gary Zukav and Linda Francis. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to type it in. Hold on, let me see how I do. Can I type? Okay. Y'all, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to type. Okay. Maybe that's not going to work. Ooh. Yeah, I'm struggling. I thought I could type in here. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking. And I guess I can't type. I'm sure I can. I see people typing on their lives. But yeah, it's The Heart of the Soul. It's by Gary Zukav. If somebody can type it out so the other person can see. Gary Zukav, Zukav. I think it's a phenomenal book. It really helps you like to understand like your emotions deeper and like emotions around you. Because when I was reading it, I was like, ooh, I know that person and I know that person. Y'all, what y'all think about? I think we should do like a little book club. What y'all think? We can like choose a little book of like, and then we can just kind of do like a live and just, go over a couple chapters and kind of give some insight. What y'all think? I think we can do it like on Zoom or something. It don't have to be on YouTube. We can like link up. I think I would like that personally. I've been talking about doing a book club for a while. And y'all know I got me a couple of weeks. I'm gonna be able to read some books. But yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to look now. Oh yeah, so there was like a part of the book that talked about like savior searching, and this kind of resonated with me too. And I think some of the points that I put from the book was like having an effort to like locate an individual or circumstance that can deliver you from your discomfort. Because I feel like sometimes as empaths, like we're able to like connect with so many other people because it's also a way for us to disconnect from our own things as well, and that can bring comfort to be able to connect to others and to kind of put you on the side for a little bit. And then I had wrote what solve problems, eliminate inner struggles, and bring your experiences to a new level of comfort. Um, the search for salvation takes your attention away from what you feel and places it on external circumstances. Once you receive salvation, your anxieties, fears, resentment, and self doubt return. And you place upon your saviors the responsibility for doing the work you need to do. And then the work remains undone. And your painful emotions tell you what needs to be changed in you, not in other people. And then I wrote down accepting the present moment does not mean that you cannot change your life. On the contrary, it allows you to see clearly what needs to be changed. Resistance to your life is lack of trust in the universe. Okay, but that was like something I had kind of wrote out. Okay, let's see. Inte said, oh, a book. I'm currently into a reading frenzy, so please recommend a book. Oh, I got a lot of books, though. Like, I'm going to have to give you, like, a whole list of books. We're going to have to do, like, a book share. I got a lot of books that I recommend. I'm currently reading Grit by Angela Duckworth. Hold on, let's see. I want to say I've read some of Grit before. Let me see. That's the power of passion and perseverance. I'm trying to think. I started reading it. I don't know. I don't think I finished reading it because it came out a couple years ago. Do you like it? I do remember starting to read it. Logan said I'm down for a book club. Okay, that sounds good to me. I'm gonna get one started. Y'all got 3 weeks to focus on myself and get my life together for me. I'm excited. No, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I think that will be good. We'll just pick a book. I'll probably like give a couple books for us to choose from, and then like we'll decide as a club like which book we're gonna start with. And then I'll create like discussion, like questions and stuff. And of course I don't want it to be like something that's like gonna feel like extra work to your studies already and school and work and everything else we got going on, because we all busy. But I think it's good just to kind of have some accountability again for ourselves to do things that we enjoy and that like really feed into us. So we gotta feed ourselves. So yeah, I've been reading a lot of business books lately, so not as inspiring. But let's see. Oh, do you guys like Lisa Nichols? I liked her book. She had a book, Abundance Now. It was pretty good book. I need to just make a list of all my books too that I read last year, because I read a lot of books last year. Like I said, this year I've just kind of been reading some business books. And then I read a money book, like the end of last year. It was by, gotta see if I can find who it was. I got my little journal, but I got so much stuff in here. Let's see. And text that I like it. The book is pretty good and talks about the topic of not just finding your passion, but feeding your passion. I have a Kindle, so I can basically bring a library in my hand. Yes, I love it. I actually, do you guys have Audible? Because I was on my Audible books, but once my budget is very strict right now in this season in my life, because I got some financial goals that I'm trying to meet. But like, I love Audible. Like I said, I had to put Audible on pause for a little bit, because I was definitely using Audible all the time. The Audible is really, really good. I like to hear my books, and then I'll hear the book, and then I end up going to go buy it anyways, because I really like the book. And then who else had a good book? Let's see. And Logan, have you read any good books recently? Anybody else? I know there's a couple more people in here. Y'all can say, hey, we just talking about book clubs and stuff now. Let's see. And like I said, Inte, I'm gonna get a list of books. I'll probably post it on like my little live post, like some book recommendations. And Inte said, I'm a pretty slow reader though. I basically read mangas too, so that has pictures in it. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. No, I love it. Love it, love it. But yeah, I like it's pretty cool though. I will say, I want to say my kids, I don't know if they're I think my humanities kids, they've been reading like graphic novels, and they've like been pretty into them. At first they're like, I don't want to read this, like kids who aren't into like comics and things like that. But then once they started reading it, they're like, oh, these are good. These are good. So that's good to see. I'm glad they're giving them different things. Like, we never read a graphic novel when I was in high school. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty cool. They trying to think outside the box. Now, but y'all, random side note, y'all got me interested in going by the grocery store just to see what it looked like. I hate going to the grocery store. Like, grocery store is like the worst. Hold on. And I told you, I still ain't printed out all my stuff yet. Let me see. Go to my internet so I can start getting my little things done. Because I'm going to be leaving my school pretty soon after I get everything I need to get done. Let's see. I don't think that's... Yeah, I got this good study guide for my kids. It's like a 4-page study guide. It's going to be good stuff. Louise said, I have a love-hate relationship with reading. I love the idea of it, but have never been able to get through it. Which is funny because in philosophy, all you do is read. I know, I was gonna say, you talking about you hate reading, but like you are full of reading. Well, it's kind of part of philosophy, like you said. So yeah, I'm interested to see how you gonna overcome that. So, Louise, how do you feel about Audible books though? Like, are they something that like catch your attention. I think for me, I only like the audibles if it's like the author reading it for some reason, except if it's like an author that really is not like a great reader. Like I did get Bobby Brown's book, and I was like, I listened to it for like 2 minutes. I was like, I can't deal with his voice. I just have to read his little book. It was too much. Um, and Michelle Obama, I got her book on Audible, but it was like read really slow, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just have to read this." I mean, you can speed it up, but sometimes it distorts it. But like I read Kevin Hart's. I listened to Kevin Hart's book. It was so funny. Like he's so dramatic. His book was really funny. It was good. Um, Inte said, "Aren't books amazing? It's my form of escapism. When it's been a long and stressful day, books are just great." Gosh, I sounded like a nerd. You definitely sound like a nerd, but it's okay. Shout out to nerds, nerd power. I'm reading All American Boys by Jason Reynolds. Is that what are you guys reading that with your, are you reading that with your kids? Like at school? Isn't that didn't they receive an award for that book? I haven't personally read of it, but I'm familiar with, if I'm, I think that was like the book with like the racial tension. I want to say my little brother had to read it because I want to say it's not that old. It came out like it had to be like maybe 3-4 years ago. So I know it's not that old. You guys, I'm actually thinking about well, I am going to be writing some books. In the next year, I'm going to be starting. But it's funny. I enjoy reading, but I don't enjoy writing as much. Like it's something that I like kind of force myself to do, and I'm always happy once I'm done doing it. But the process of writing is not like the most therapeutic for me. Some people like love to write. Like no, that's not a love for me. But I know that I'm a pretty good writer. It just takes some patience. Louise said, Logan, I read that last year at the university I was originally attending. It was a required class reading, a great book. Oh, that's awesome. Like I said, I've never read the book, but I am familiar with the book. I just remember they had like won some awards as well. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And because I'm looking at, let me look up who's the author. Jason Reynolds, Brendan Kiley, Long. So yeah, Jason Reynolds also wrote Long Way Down, Ghost, When I Was the Greatest. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, reading. Oh yeah, and I will say when I was taking my sociology class when I was in high school, I took a couple classes at a nearby college, and our sociology class we had some great reads. I'm like, man, them some of the greatest books I read in that class. Let's see. Inte said, I have a little book of writing prompts, so I use that to write a short story or a quick write. I find it relaxing and it flexes my imagination. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, Inte, one thing about me that people probably don't know is that I love sending people journals, like people who don't have journals. And like my friends who are like, I hate writing, like I send them prop journals. And there's like some, like I gave a couple of my students some journals recently, and they were like self care journals, and they had like little writing prompts for like each page, and they had like little activities and stuff for my students to do. And I really, really liked it. That's why I'm like, I definitely want to create like something for like cater to high school students as far as um, like their emotional awareness and just kind of getting in tune with where they are and how they're feeling. Logan said, nope, the other teachers at my school aren't big on reading books. What? Louise said, also, I've never tried Audible. Probably will look into it. Reading in philosophy is okay for me since it's interesting. I love reading philosophy books on the side for fun. Okay, so you just have your niche, and I think that's good. That is excellent. I do. I like a little bit of philosophy. I can't say that my love for it is like yours, but I definitely have an appreciation, for sure, for it as well. Okay, sorry, I'm over here trying to get some stuff printed. Hmm. Hold on, in 1 second, you guys. But yeah, Louise, you definitely, if you got a couple of extra dollars to spare, or whenever they're having a special, I definitely say Audible is definitely clutch. Like I said, I'm sad because I have to take a little hiatus from my Audible books, just because having all these subscriptions definitely do add up. I will tell you that they add up. Let's see. See, y'all done got sidetracked 20 times. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I have to send myself an email. Let's see. Inte said that's a pretty cool initiative that you're doing. Also, Audible is pretty fun, but it all depends on the reader's voice and speed. It's an experiment. I agree. That's why, like, I'm very intentional about like the books that I get on Audible. I really like biographies. I really like to listen to those autobiographies on Audible. Like I said, Kevin Hart's, his was hilarious. Charlemagne the God, his was good. I can't look because I'm on my phone. I was gonna say I'll give y'all a list of like some of the recommendations I have on Audible. Marshawn Evans, I really liked her book. I listened to hers on Audible, but I really liked it a lot, so I went ahead and bought her book as well. But yeah, I had a lot of good Audibles to listen to. Yes, yes, yes. So what's one of y'all like big goals that y'all have for 2020? What's something y'all want to get done in 2020? I know I've been trying to refine. I did like my vision board, which I think I'll probably make a video about my vision board from this year, and then maybe like quickly talk about my last year vision board, which was super clutch. But I like my vision board. That's not like my goal setting board. Like some people use their vision board as like their end all be all. Like my goals are a little separate from vision board. I just like my vision board as like an inspiration. So I just like the words and just the kind of affirmations that I take away from my vision board. But my vision board is more wordy, where some people's vision boards are like more like picturing. I don't really need a whole bunch of pictures. I can just like look at the words and they'll be significant for me. I want to read / listen to Steve Jobs biography. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm definitely, it's 7 o'clock. Let me see what time the library closes today. Hold on, y'all, and I act like I don't have school tomorrow. Like I'm just chilling. Like technically, I do gotta come back tomorrow. So I guess my weekend starts tomorrow. Well, my vacation starts tomorrow. But I will say the library that I live by is the bomb. They do so much. They have now, it's called an innovation lab in the library. And it says, start your passion project today, from podcasts to posters. Bring your ideas to life. Like they always have like great speakers there, and just great seminars and just opportunities at the library. It's really, really good. They do 3D printing at the library. They have advanced design, custom printing, digital creation. They have a recording studio. Let's see. So like example projects, I know this is a whole random side note, but they have, because I was trying to see what time they close and I got sidetracked. So they have record a podcast or song, create a video game, print a poster or resume, make a virtual tour, create a prototype, edit a photo or video, explore augmented reality or virtual reality, create an app, scan a document, design a product label, print a 3D object, and more. Limit of 3 hours while others are waiting. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, you got to be 18 to go in that part of the library. This is something new, you guys. So I'm over here like super excited. Oh, this is so great. I'm about to live at the library. Hopefully they stay open. Okay. Let's see. Intay says my big goal is to save up as much as I can, pay off some of my student loans before I go back to school, and then hopefully get accepted into a nursing program. God is good, and he'll be my guide too. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That is awesome. So do you have like your financial plan already together in order to reach your financial goals for this year? Because I know right now I cut back on a lot of things because I had a financial saving goal. And so I wanted so much in my savings before May. And I'm excited to say I am on track. It's been some sacrifices, but it's been well worth it. So I'm excited about that. Super excited about that, actually. Super excited. Is that a library or an interactive museum? Exactly. This is something new. I've never seen it before. That's why I'm super impressed. Like, what? This is awesome. And the library closes at 9, so I got time to go to the library to get me some books. I'm excited. Okay, so yeah, I think it's awesome. Logan says, I want to find the right career path that will fit my goals. No, I love that. I love that. And I definitely understand that space as well, because I'm in the same boat. So yeah, but I will let you guys know. I haven't told my students yet, but I did let my principal know that I put in my resignation letter. So I will unfortunately be leaving the classroom next year. But I'm leaving in good faith, and I'm leaving to pursue some things that have been placed on my heart. So I'm going to miss my kids. I'm definitely not telling them until the end of the school year because they're going to be devastated. And I love them so much, and I'm going to miss them too, but I definitely got to do this for me and for making sure that I'm pursuing what I'm supposed to be doing in this earth in this season. Louise said, I should be graduating from community college and transferring to a 4-year where I hope to do some writing and philosophy. Well, that is awesome. You definitely have to keep us updated, Louise. We are definitely a family over here. And I definitely love to stay in contact with you guys and see how y'all doing. Oh, and Logan, I'm going to be able to really check in with your life as well. So you will be hearing from me really soon because I definitely got time now to really just sit down and we can figure out some things as well for you. Try to help you get some extra clarity on what you're doing next as well. So I'm excited. I got some things planned that I'm about to be planning in these next 3 weeks. I'm getting a little happy now. Getting a little excited. Intay said, I still haven't fully made my financial plan yet. I don't know where and how to start. Any recommendations? Yes. I am the budget queen, okay? I am the budget queen. So I think the biggest thing that I would say is that in order to start an actual financial plan and a plan to start paying off some of your debt, you need to know where your money is going now. And so let's see, we're already into March, but I would say moving forward for the rest of the month, start tracking all of your expenses. And if you have an app like Mint or something like that, that's great, but there's not true accountability with those type of apps that are linked to your car and basically does the planning for you, because a lot of times we'll have a app like that and we barely look at it, so it's not really effective. But I will say one of my favorite budget apps is Every Dollar app. I love Every Dollar app. And so I would say to add Every Dollar app, the biggest thing to create your financial plan is first knowing where you're spending your money at. And then you really got to start like addressing what like some of your money mindsets are when it comes to like savings and like what you truly believe about money and like why you believe that way. And then once you like figure out like where your finances are going, then you can actually sit down and figure out where you can save and what you can cut out. So like for me, I think with a lot of people, a lot of times we can cut out on the amount of food that we're eating. That might not be you, but you might have another like guilty pleasure that you like to spend money on, that you can cut out in. And so for me, like I just, after I do, well, like I said, as far as budgeting, my budgeting is like A1, but I still like to do like my planning for like the year, like some financial goals that I have. I usually do my plan also like a 6-month plan. And so that's why I knew like exactly what I needed to save in order for me to be where I am now financially, and where I plan on being by May, which is where my goal ends. But you definitely have to know where your money's going. And then I really like Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar app. I don't agree with all of his philosophies, but one thing I will say that is great is he's a big advocate for an every dollar budget, meaning every dollar has a name to it. Because a lot of times we take our money, we spend our money on our bills, and we might put some money away in savings, and then whatever we have left is just like, okay, like that's what I have left. Like, and that's not the way that you should really approach a budget, but that's how most of us approach budgets. So that's why I think it's important for you to have a purpose for every dollar. And then one thing I love about a budget is like it truly gives you permission to spend. Like you don't have to be like stressed out about like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have enough money for this? Like when you really sit down and do your budget, even if you get money like sporadically, like I was in the last year before I came to the classroom, like I still knew like I need to make this amount. So how am I going to make this amount? And I was able to supplement for that. But it gives you permission to spend, and you don't have to be like stressed out about it because you know if you have it or you don't. You know what I mean? Like you might have to take a sacrifice and be like, oh, if your friends want to go out to eat, and you're like, yeah, I don't have permission to spend in that area this week. And then sometimes you might be like, you know what? I'm gonna give myself permission, but that means I'm gonna have to take away from this area. But it's just always gonna be like a give and take. But yes, I love budgeting. I love it. Let's see. Every Dollar app. Okay, my finances almost always goes to bills. I'm not a spender anyways, but I still get financial anxiety sometimes because I feel like I'm not in control. So yeah, so I think that's really where a budget comes in place, to really take away like that financial anxiety, and then just trying to have some multiple streams of income if possible, and some passive money coming in as well, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed. And then Logan said the classroom is a beautiful place to really help folks and meet them where they are. But I received a prophetic word that I'm not destined to stay there forever. You better say it again, and you better believe that. Because like I said, I mean, all of my blessings have come from a place of being out of my comfort zone. And for me, the classroom is definitely a comfort zone for me. And so, like, even before I got into med school and I knew like I was going to med school, I actually left the classroom. And I think, Logan, you've heard this, but I left the classroom a year before I even got accepted. And my coworkers was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what? You ain't got no job? How you going to live? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to med school. Well, have you take the test? Yeah, but my score not high enough, like, well, how many times have you applied? About 4, So it was definitely an act of faith and obedience for me. But I just feel like, definitely continue to be connected to the source, because he will definitely order your steps. And even if you feel like you're not on the right path, like that's okay, because he'll get you there. Whether you might be a little delayed in that process, He will definitely get you to where you're supposed to be in the end goal. And I believe that to be true. Let's see. But yeah, I love the classroom, but this ain't it. This is not it. Mm-mm-mm. No, no, no. And then y'all know people so rude. Like some of the teachers I found out, and they've like been in the hallway like, "Hey, heard you're leaving." Like, yeah, during spring break, like I've been having to play it off because I am not ready to tell my kids, and I feel like it's not any other teacher's place to say that to my kids either. So some of these teachers been getting super side eyes from me, just to let y'all know. So let's see. Ohio. Okay, what time is it? 7:30. Let's see. Oh, there. Oh, sorry. I'm reading the email too. Okay. Okay. So, Inte said, "You are such an inspiration. I'm so grateful that I came across your channel and you're beautiful. So, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Louise said, "Amen. Sometimes it's hard to understand why he calls us to a specific thing or place, but looking back at different places in our lives, we can start to see the bigger picture of things." No, I definitely agree. And Tay, I agree with you. I feel the same way. Thank you guys, but y'all don't understand. Like, we family. Like, all of y'all, like Louise, like Logan, like Inte, like, this is about to be like, this is us. That's why I have to create like a real space for us to be able to meet at, because I feel like it's always different people that come in here. I got a couple of my like consistent people that come in here, but like you guys, y'all mean so much to me too, and like you guys inspire me as well with your stories and just you guys having perseverance to go through the things that you go through. But I think it's so important to have community and for you guys to know like y'all are not alone. Like there's other people experiencing like similar things. I think it's hard. I think it's great when you can hear from those other people and just know that you have like a common ground regardless of what you look like, where you're from, what you sound like. Like none of those things really matter at the end of the day. Because we all are, we're God's children at the end of the day. We're all wonderful, fearfully made. So yeah, but yeah, I can't wait to tell y'all, like update y'all with my life in real life. I'm just so excited. I'm excited. I'm really like stepping out of my comfort zone. I will tell y'all that for sure. Fix my little earrings. Ooh. And then my kids every day, they're like, "Miss Cole, you be having them big old earrings." I'm like, "Thank you." They were like, "How many pair of glasses you got?" I only got like 5 pair, but they think I wear a different pair every day. So I'd be like, "Thank you." But my kids, they're hilarious. They're so funny. Let's see. Okay, about to get my print on. My print and copy on. I can't wait to see these kids tomorrow. We're going to have some good conversation when they come in here. You know what I was thinking about showing them? But I already got my day planned for tomorrow. But I'm going to encourage them to watch Contagion. Because a couple of kids were talking about it, but a lot of kids were like, "What's Contagion?" Like, because the kids was like, "I feel like this is Contagion. Like, I'm scared." I'm like, don't be scared. But, and I think on Contagion, what was it? MEV1 virus. And then on like the little title for Contagion, it says, "Nothing spreads like the fear." I mean, not like the fear, but it says nothing spreads like fear. And that is so true. And, 5 hours ago, random side note, Contagion screenwriter not surprised about coronavirus outbreak. Contagion screenwriter Scott Z burns on watching his movie go viral. I'm sure because a lot of people haven't heard of Contagion. And so, like, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I want to see it. I want to see it. So I'm sure they are getting a lot of money from watching it. So yeah, have y'all seen Contagion before? Just a little backdrop of it. It was like when there was a lady who had came from a trip from Hong Kong. And I think she lived like in Minnesota, and she was like started like not feeling well, and she just thought it was like I think she thought it was like being like jet lagged or whatever. And then a couple days later, she ended up dying. And then the doctors were like all super confused, like what killed her. And then like a lot of other people started dying, and it ended up being like this virus that killed like all these people. So yeah. Logan says, my students always say how I don't have work friends. For what? Educating them is a job. Say that again. That is funny. I know that's right. I know that is right. It's a full-time job. Say it again. But I do have like one like work sister. It's her first year teaching. So I'm a bit older than her because she just now graduating from college. But that's like my little work sister. Because it ain't that many teachers of color here, even though the majority of our kids are of color here. And so it's nice to see another teacher of color and to be able to connect with them. And she's like hilarious. We just like do dances and stuff. Because like I'm always like all super excited around the school. They just be laughing. When I used to teach in Atlanta, they used to call me, some of the teachers called me Sunshine. Because I walk in and I stand by my door every morning. I'm like, good morning, good morning. And the kids be like, good morning, good morning. They try to do my good morning and stuff. And they're like, why are you always so happy? And I told them, I said, it's not that I'm always happy, but I always have joy. So I choose to just exert the joy that I experience. I said, y'all get on my nerves. I said, sometimes I just want to strangle y'all. I said, but I don't allow you guys to have the energy to get me out of my element, because I'm going to be fabulous regardless. Like I had one kid was mad at me the other day because like I'm very sarcastic and like I'm very like this is what it is as well. And so the student had got mad because she was being passive aggressive and didn't take her earbuds out. And she wanted a pass though to go somewhere, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, you're not going to be disrespectful and get a pass. So she caught herself being mad at me. I was like, are you done being mad with yourself? And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, because in order for mad to be effective, the other person has to receive it. And I'm not receiving that madness, so it's bouncing back to you. And then she started laughing. I was like, you can't hold a grudge. She was like, yes, I can. But she's over it. She's not upset anymore because she was only mad with herself. Okay, let's see. Logan said, yes, I need to bring it to my class and we can watch. Oh, yeah, that is good. And they probably got some questions online, too, making an assignment. Inte said, I haven't seen that, but I've definitely heard of it because my dad has seen it. And he said the movie is reminding him of this virus. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, you got to try to watch it if you get a chance. I think it's on, you got to buy it, though. They said it's on YouTube for $3.99, Amazon for $3.99, iTunes for $3.99, Google Play for $3.99, Vudu for $3.99. Oh, but it's on Hulu. So if you have a Hulu subscription, you can watch it on Hulu. Oh, I'm about to get somebody's Hulu account so I can watch it again. So yeah, it's on Hulu. Maybe I might scrap tomorrow and watch it in class. But the only thing, we can't get through a whole movie because the class is only 45 minutes. Louise said, oh, let's see. Inte said, never let anyone dull your shine. I've read that online and it stuck to me. Yes, that is so true. You gotta be telling the kids I'm fabulous. My kids, they just laugh at me all day. Like, this grandma, like, and then when I try to get serious, I'm like, y'all, I'm not playing. And they be like, oh my gosh, you play too much. So yeah, you just gotta be lighthearted. Louis said, I saw, oh yeah, okay. Oh, I saw it a while back. Also, I need to get some advice with working with teens. Haha. I teach religious education at my church to 13 to 16-year-olds. And it's a good spiritual and emotional workout. Oh yeah, so Louise, Logan is also a teacher. He's an English teacher in Texas. So he teaches high school and I teach high school. So we know all about teens. Oh my gosh. Teens are, woo, bless their hearts. But I will say teens, whew, oh, oh my goodness. I will say, I think that overall, I just feel like teens, they need like more coping mechanisms and they just need more modeling of behavior, because even a lot of times their parents will tell them, oh, you need to do XYZ, but then they don't see it reflected in the way that they're living. And kids call it out all the time. Kids do not like hypocrites. Teens do not like hypocrites. So if you say something and you're not exhibiting it in your own walk, oh, they definitely gonna call you out about it. And that's why, like, even like, I like my phone, I be telling them, but there's a time and a place for everything. So like, I don't even have my phone out during the school day. Like the kids, they never see my phone. At least I'm like taking pictures of them in the classroom, or like if I'm sending something on a Remind app. So like they could never, because if I had my phone out like they do, they be like, well, you got your phone out, you know what I mean? So like the things that I do, like I always tell them, like, their mouths are filthy. They just curse all the time. And they're like, Miss Cromwell, I know that you curse. And I'm like, I absolutely do on my own personal time with my friends, you know? Like, but however, I don't think it's appropriate in this space, in this context. And, you know, I'm not going to do it because, you know, that's the expectation. And if I do it, you're going to think that I'm excusing you, and I'm not excusing your behavior. So I think that that's one big thing I would say about high school, is just like making sure that you are living out some of the things that you're trying to tell them, if you believe it to be true. And then also is like transparency as well, because I tell my kids a lot of things that some teachers probably will be like, I would never tell the kids that. Like, I don't, but I do, because I know like a lot of times they just need that authentic connection, because they feel like you old and you don't understand them, and like, but you don't get it, like you was never a teenager. So I share lots of stories with them, but I think it really helps as well. Um, Logan said, Louise, what's your question about working with teens? Logan, they cray cray, right? I know a lot of people ask me, like, how do I have patience to deal with the kids? Logan, how do you feel like you have patience to deal with our kids? And one thing is just realizing, like, our kids, like teenagers, they project a lot. So a lot of times you're not the issues, but if you're not like emotionally aware about where you are, like it's hard to gauge like where the kids are, and sometimes you can just like accept what they're dishing out. And then sometimes you just sometimes you gotta check yourself, like, ooh, you know what, that issue wasn't even for me. Like they have their own issue going on. Like I had a little boy that was doing the most today, but he's just the type of kid that just thinks that everybody's just attacking him. So I'll say with like teenagers, like you can't just put them in one box. Like you have to, I tell them all the time, like favor's not fair. And, you know, I treat them the same, but I treat them with like the model of equity. Like it's not about being equal, because we all not meeting each other at the same plane. Like some of y'all here, some of y'all here, so I can't say equal, because equal is still going to be off balance. So I try to just use the whole idea of equity within like how I kind of, you know, interact with the kids. Because some kids, they just need a little bit extra tough love, and some kids, they a little bit more sensitive, so you gotta, you know, push back on your approach. So I deal with all my kids a little bit differently. And one thing I will say that I pride myself on is that, like, my school is majority African American, but we have kids from like everywhere. My school is also an ESL school, so we have kids from probably at least 20 different cultures. And I feel like I'm able to connect with them even when there's like verbal barriers. I feel like I'm still able, like I make an effort to connect with all my kids. And then also I'll say with like working with teens is like, think about like some of the teens that you work with that you haven't necessarily connected with. And then like try to figure out like a way that you can work on like building a relationship with them, because we can always think about like those kids that like we have those great relationships with, but I think it's good to also think about the kids that you're like, you know what, I really don't know that much about that kid. Like, let me make an effort to really try to learn more about them, because I know I'll go through my roster every so often. I'm like, hold on, let me see what's the connecting point with them. Like, I found out, like, I mean, there'll be little things like you find out one of the kids like a specific anime. Like, that might be your way into like a conversation to like really like, you know, connect with them and to really, um, hold on, I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah, to really connect with them and to like, you know, really create like a bond. Like, I found out one of my kids, like, he's a sun glazer. So he like he stares at the sun and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. In fact, I learned out about him, but that was like a way for me to kind of get in. He's a more quiet kid, and we've had some great conversations just from me learning that little tidbit about him. Let's see. Um, Logan said, "Don't take anything they do personally. They bring a lot of their home life with them, and don't be hypocritical." Yes, yeah, yes, yes. Um, Tay said, "I learned a lot of patience from the entitled customers that I deal with every day." I know that's right. You are definitely in the field of patience. The trick is just to take a deep breath and to remind myself that even if they're belittling you, that doesn't define you. It's hard, but it's practice. I agree. Louise said, "It's difficult to engage with them on the material since they're not interested in or some forced to be there." And yeah, I've come to understand that they have a lot going on that they bring to class. Um, Tay said, sorry, I got cut off. No, understandable. So I think, Louise, the biggest thing is like really, especially when you're like talking about um, like religious education, I think a big thing is like making it make sense to them and making it feel relevant to them. So I'm not sure what your religious background is, but I know like as a Christian reading the Bible, like for me reading the Bible with kids and teenagers is like, this ain't just the Bible. Like, these are some good stories in here. Like, there's some good characters, and just relating the characters to people in their lives, or like to even um, like ask them like some questions from a passage that you're talking about, but make it like relevant to them. Like, who have y'all ever wanted to, you know? Let me think of a good story. Um, Let me think of it. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, y'all know it's getting late, so my brain is a little delayed. But I mean, even like Samson and Delilah in the Bible, like, ooh, have y'all ever just met somebody that y'all just really cared about and thought they was the one from you, and they end up stabbing you in the back? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the kids can relate to something like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, and just kind of get their experiences. And then you can, whatever text you're reading or whatever story you're reading, like, you can intertwine them. Because I think the biggest thing with kids is, like, they need to see themselves in the characters. If they don't see themselves in the characters, they're not going to find value in it. But I definitely think there's like a lot of creative things that you can do, even with religious, um, I can't even think of the word, but religious education, sorry, to really make sense for them and to really get like some good takeaways uh, from them and for them as well. And Logan said, equity is a great approach, but I never show favoritism, even though I have a favorite group of kids. So yeah, I don't show favoritism, but I mean, like I said, I won't even say, I don't want to say I don't. I don't want to say I don't show favoritism. Let me think about this. I don't show favoritism, but I am very intentional about spotting out behavior that is positive, if that makes sense. So if it comes off like the kids be like, "No, you just saying that because they're your favorite." Like, no, I'm just saying that because they're respectful, and I'll point out different qualities that are positive. So I don't do it in like a like, "Ooh, you just," because like to be honest, like some of my favorites is some of my who most challenging kids that I want to beat. You know what I mean? So of course I'm not gonna be like outwardly showing favoritism towards them, but I do try to like point out positive behavior in all my kids. Like, and then I do a little bit of like little mind manipulation too. So like if I see like, look, I'm in my class looking, if I see a kid that I know is distracting the other kids and I know they distracting, and I'm like, such and such, like, are they over there distracting you from being great? And the kids be like, I know you see them talking to us, and they be like, yeah. I'm like, you know what? Like, you trying to be successful today, and I'm gonna need for you to be successful. You might have to move away from them today because they are messing with your success. And then they'll be like, for real, it'll be like a little reverse. But then they like take that like, yeah, like, you know, any other teacher they would have got in trouble with. But with me, I'm just like playing the game with them, like, oh yeah, oh, it wasn't you. It couldn't have been you. You know what I mean? Like, somebody clearly had to be messing with your success today. So I do little things like that. Let's see. Honestly, Logan said, honestly, my patience comes from the Lord. Say it again. Bring the material to life for them. Relevance is important. Louise said, I am also Christian Catholic. I teach sacrament preparation for confirmation. And yeah, I've definitely learned to take a breath and get through it. This advice is all great. Thanks. I think it's at times, it's the fear of burning out with the constant dealing of the emotions and trying to enforce order while trying to teach. Oh my gosh, I definitely understand that. That can definitely be like just behavior management can definitely, can take away from the culture that you're trying to like build as well. Yeah. So when you say like fear of burning out with constant dealing of the emotions, like when you say the emotions, are you talking about like your own emotions, or are you talking about like the emotions of like the kids? Yeah, 13 and 16, that's definitely, um, let's see. And like, do you feel, I mean, have you tried to make it relevant to them? And when you have, like, have you found it to be like more successful or less successful? Like, what has your experience been as far as like just making the content relate to them? And Logan said, take those cell phones because it causes this immediate gratification. Don't get me started on cell phones. And then I'd be so annoyed because I call home and I'll tell the parents, like, your kid's phone is a distraction because, like, we can't technically take kids' phones here. But I can, like, it depends on the relationship I have with the kids. Some of my kids, I'm just taking their phones. Like, give me your phone. Some of them, you just be like, you got to kind of gauge the water with that kid. But you'll call home and you'll tell the parent be like, oh, I'm about to take their phone. They're not going to have that phone. And then the next day come in, they write on their phone. I feel like some of these parents, man, I'm like, are y'all scared of y'all kids or what? I be telling them all the time, like, y'all couldn't have been mine. Because if y'all was mine, woo, it would not be going down this way. Louise said, it's great to hear from other teachers and the emotions the kids bring with them. I have a class of 30 and it's my first year of teaching, so I'm still finding little tricks to it. Oh yeah, no, definitely. You definitely in trial and error, which is fine, and you're gonna learn a lot in this year, for sure. And yes, I've taken care of the phone situation and it's a lot easier. So, like, do you feel like you're reaching, like, multiple learners as well? Or do you feel like you just follow a specific... Because I don't know how, like, strict it is as far as, like, the, like, your curriculum. But if your curriculum does have some wiggle room, like, have you tried to do different activities to get the kids more engaged? Or, like, even for me, because the kids do let their phones, like, I will try to, like, utilize things that allow them to be on their phone but to like still be engaged. So like we'll do like live polls in class, or I'll have them do like barcode. Um, they'll have to do like different barcode things around the classroom, and it'll be like a video or something pop up, something they have to read. So I do try to find ways to like engage them with their technology as well, and to help them be like more resourceful. Because I was like, y'all so smart to be so dumb sometimes. I'm just like, y'all have all these resources, but they don't know how to use them in like an effective way. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, they're like, how do I find this? I'm like, you got the internet. Like y'all don't know how to search for these things, but they're learning. They're getting better. So yeah. Logan, so you be taking them phones? What you got, like a little cell phone, little area? You see I got my little cell phone spot that the kids, that's where the kids charge their phones in my class. Louise said, we are supposed to get through specific material in a year from our textbooks, but besides this, it's pretty open for us to teach as we find is best for our class. And I guess like before you started teaching, did you get like a chance to like shadow different teachers, and did you find like some of their teaching styles that you enjoyed and things that you could adopt like for your own personality as well? And Ente said, I was in high school, our chemistry teacher had a phone cage. I love it. A hamster cage that we had to put our phones in before we can enter the class. Haha, it helped because our class average was 85%. I wish I could do something like that. That would be clutch. Especially for a grade 12 chemistry class. That is very impressive. The fact that you guys were at school enough to get an 85% is pretty amazing. Let's see. I got my little paper printed. I think I'm gonna print off like logs for my kids too. All right, sign out. Let's see. Hold on, I can't see. And Logan said, have you ever tried Flipgrid? I personally haven't. I've never heard of Flipgrid, but I'm Googling it right now. Let's see. Flipgrid empowers social learning in pre-K to PhD around the world. Use video the way your students do. Empower every voice. Flipgrid is simple, engage, and empower every voice in your classroom or community by recording and sharing short, awesome videos together. Oh, so kind of like, is it like kind of like a Snapchat-ish type of platform, but like educationally? Because I remember when I first started teaching, like 8 years ago, I used Edmodo, which was like Facebook, because that was when kids were still using Facebook. Now the kids think Facebook is for old people. But I'm going to have to look into it. Flipgrid. Do you have to have like a subscription through your school? Louise said, it's not a formal thing at all. We have class once a week in the evening for 2 hours. Teachers are volunteers, and we don't have a lot of resources like access to Wi-Fi in the classrooms. So it's a bit tougher. Ente said, right, we all felt so amazing, especially the art students. But our environment in the class has always been to help out everyone and to not leave anyone behind. So that helped too. We were close. Oh, that's super cool. I love that. I wish I had more of that like at my school. Louise said, I haven't heard of it, but we'll look into it. And Logan said, I teach seniors. Lucky you. I wish. I got the sophomores that think they grown. So I don't fight nonstop about phones. Once I want my work, I want it. You played on your phone all class, but you didn't get my work done. Too bad. Oh, I understand. Let me show you. And this is why my kids be annoyed with me too. Let me see if I can. Hold on. So I give my kids a weekly agenda. So y'all know what y'all supposed to do. I don't want to hear it. They're like, Big Crown, what we do today? What we doing today? And I got the agenda on my door. I got it on my table. They all have copies of it. I have it by my missing work thing, and I'll just point to one of the agendas. They be like, oh my gosh, you be doing the most. I be like, I don't do enough, obviously, because y'all still keep asking me the same thing. But yeah, I definitely, they be like, when is this due? I'm like, look, you had enough time to get it done. You already knew at the beginning of the week what was due, when it was due. Like, I need y'all to let me be great. And thank you. Let's see. Logan said, yes, it's like Snapchat. Oh, that's super cool. Hey, girl.
Hey, boo-boo.
I'm on my live. Been running my mouth.
Don't mind me, I got my little headphones in.
What you listening to?
Girl just talking. Nothing really. The girl was talking about religion a little bit, but she was talking about almost, I don't want to say coming up with a religion, but almost come, because when I hear that, I'll be thinking about cults and it just give me a bad vibe. But like coming up with a more,
Oh, this one, my friend.
I guess, I guess like, you know, like,
She talking about something. Excuse me, sorry. She's talking about something she was listening
and so in
to.
order to be united, everybody basically individually create a one religion. I don't know.
So like a one, like the New Age one world religion type thing.
I'm not. That scares me when I hear.
I'm just saying that's what she's talking
the
about.
real world, but no, she was just more so saying like, you know, for example, obviously God, but she's saying some of the New Age millennials are targeted by like, you know, the, you know, specific people, like, and so their mindsets are different, and so it's harder for them to take in the traditional Bible, for example. And I don't know, she was just talking about, not that.
Oh, that's so funny. She's up there talking about like religion right now and how like New Age is making it hard for like the young generation. Something she was listening to. No, because on my live we're talking about one of my friends on the live. He's saying that he teaches at his Catholic church the 13 and 16-year-olds their sacrament class. And he was just like trying to figure out how to get them engaged and stuff with the material.
Right.
And he's like, how y'all be, you know,
Like,
dealing with these teenagers? Yeah, so that's funny that you bringing it up.
Different times. Like when I was a kid, we had, you know, Sunday school, vacation Bible school. Like my grandma kept us involved in church, but church was also implemented more so in every other family than, you know, today, where it's every 10 families, one every 10 families. I ain't saying, you know, I'm just giving you a off number, not like whatever, but.
You know, one of my kids asked me today, he said, Miss Cromwell, you believe in God? I said, I sure do. Yes, I do. He said, well, what God you believe in? I said,
God?
Well, he asked me what God. I said, the one and true living God. He was like, but who you believe in? I was like, it's.
Oh my God.
I said, what are you asking me?
You need to get God's social. So
I said, what are you asking?
Because they make it seem like it's a bunch of gods.
Well, for some of them it is.
Scary.
Yeah, for some of them it
it's kind
is.
of scary because then, you know, people will say prayers, you know, then you talk about God.
That's
like,
why that's why I say I don't let everybody pray for me, because people like, I'm praying for you. I don't know who you're praying to.
Yeah.
It's okay, but thank you.
It's alright, but you know what?
That's funny.
Give me some hand sanitizer.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Louise said, that's awesome. I totally appreciate teachers because I know it's hard work. Definitely preparing for teaching later on in my career. So all this advice as support is amazing. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I could give advice for days, and I feel like it don't matter if you're in year 1, if you're in year 40. Like you have to continue to evolve as an educator because you got different kids. And like I said, even coming back to the classroom after being gone for 4 years. Like, these kids are totally different from the kids I taught when I first got into education almost 9 years ago. It hasn't been that long. Yeah, 9 years ago. Wow. And Logan said, I want to have agenda slides for next year that your work friend was in. Oh, that's your work friend that was in on an older life. Oh no, no, this is a different one. This is a different one. She came in here. She in here getting it in, working. But yeah, no, she been gone. She been gone. Let's see. But yeah, no. What you do is important though, and like one thing I will say, like for me, like I know that teaching is like my gift. When I think about like, you know, just like the natural gifts and abilities that we have, like I know that like that is definitely part of my calling is teaching. But it's just like, what platform do I want to teach on? Because like you said, Louise, like you're also a teacher in your own right. You know what I mean? Like it looks a little differently, but like your role is just as important. And so for me, it's like I know that I have an important role as a teacher, but I just it ain't gonna be in this classroom. That's all I know. It ain't gonna be in this classroom. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of gaps that I want to fill, but I'm not gonna be able to fill them in the classroom. But it's sad though, because like I know like what I bring to the classroom, and I know like what I bring to the culture of, you know, any school system I'm in. So it is kind of hard because like, I mean, at the end of the day, like none of us are replaceable, like truly for who we are. But like, you know, when people tell you like we're gonna miss you, like it's like we're not gonna be able to fill your place. Like that's pretty big and it's pretty honorable. But then like when you really realize like this is really something that I excel in, like you can really like be able to internalize like the impact that you have, and not in like a non-humble way. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to like know you are good at what you do. So yeah. Oh yeah, I have to show you some of my stuff. Like Logan, I put like, you can't see now because I'm logged out on my computer, but I do an agenda every day, like when my kids come in, so they know what they're doing every day, and then, like I said, they know what they're doing every week. My life isn't together enough to give them one like over the month, but like if you feel like you're more organized with science, it's a little different because sometimes I might think a lab take one day and end up taking 3. So I don't want to like get too advanced in my agenda and then they be stressed out. But I try to give them like their little weekly syllabus. And they enjoy it. They enjoy it, I must say. I will say one of my kids has spilled some juice or something one of my kids has spilled some juice or something back there. It was like sticky. I don't know. What days y'all be like y'all mopping stuff?
What'd you say?
What days do you guys mop?
I mopped yesterday, but I can mop.
No, that's what I'm saying. You probably got it up. I didn't even feel.
Was
it? One of my kids spilled some juice up there talking about. I was like, really? She's like, Miss Campbell, I told you I was gonna get it up. I was like, trifling. You know, I be wanting to write you, like, girl, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my baby's kids. I know, because I love you and I care about you, and I ain't about to be having you do extra work that you don't need to be doing.
It's easier though, like it really is. It's so much easier because for us to try to do it in every single classroom, chairs, it could be a lot.
I mean, I just feel like it's a simple request. Put y'all stools up. Like that's rude. Put your stools up. Yeah, that's why I'm like, let me put my stuff up. And then you know, I'm sorry for last week, all them sticky notes. Lord, I said she gonna curse me out.
I know.
Let's see. Logan said, my pastor said my spiritual gift is teaching. Yes, the classroom was just an avenue. Yes, and I hope you received that. I hope you received that. That's the exact way I feel as well. Like I know that to be true. Like I always like, if I feel like I always go back to teaching. Like not in a like literal sense as far as the classroom, but I feel like I am definitely a teacher at the core of who I am. And then it's funny because I was looking at something I wrote in the 3rd grade, and I actually did, you know, I've always thought it was like, oh, I always wanted to be a doctor. Well, actually, when I was in the 3rd grade, I said I was going to be a teacher. So, you know, look at little prophetic young care of the building. Being great. So y'all, have they been having y'all do the most though? Have y'all they been having y'all do the most?
I mean, like I don't know. I think everybody kind of panicking with this coronavirus. So like,
She disinfecting our
It's pretty much
our
like,
tables
yeah.
and stuff. But I feel like some stuff though we probably should have just been doing anyways as precautions. Like why are we just now implementing some of these things? Like, oh, we're
it's a
doing
lot.
hospital grade sanitation.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Did I say sanitation? I think that's how you say it. Oh, what you say? You know.
I mean, and then she was talking about like when we disinfect after the teacher, students touch the lure just one time, like it's ineffective. Like everything else is,
Right.
all of our stuff for one night is done with the first class. So it's like something that needs to be done consistently throughout the day.
Right.
Like, for example, with Mr. Our head man was spraying the door handles, like throughout the.
That's what I be using my little. I be using my little Clorox wipes.
Right.
Um,
Yes, those are very effective.
Let's see. Hold on. Louis said, "I agree with you. Teaching can be done in so many ways." Inte said, "I feel like I'm a listener at the core of myself. I love to listen to people's stories and reflect upon their stories. The more stories I hear from them, the more I see their true self." I love that.
I love that.
I love that. What you think about that?
That is very. I feel like he sounds awoke. Awoke.
Whoa. Do you think do you like listening to stories?
Stories.
Mhm.
Yes,
Like you like-
I am definitely a listener. Not only that, I'm trying to figure out how I could help you earn out the kinks. I love listening to the entire story thoroughly. And I like asking questions too, trying to figure out, dig deeper.
Asking
I
all
wanna
them
know more.
questions.
Right, yes.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, so why did you feel like that?
Yes, no, I like listening to. I'm laughing because I always tell my kids, tell me more. Like in med school, they always tell you to ask your patients open-ended questions. So we always like if a patient is like, oh yeah, I really don't feel well, and you're like, oh, tell me what more, or I'm aching a lot. I'm like, tell me tell me more. Everything I always say is tell me more. And so I find it relevant in education as well. But I use my tell me more in different ways. Yeah, like when kids get to talking smart or talking back to me, like, oh, Miss Crown, we need to talk about my grade. Oh, tell me more. Like, oh, you thought you was going to check me. Tell me more. And the kids be like, oh my gosh, Miss Crown. But it's so funny because so many of the kids fall for it. And they're really like, well, I just feel like such and such. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh my gosh, Miss Cromwell. It's so funny. Yeah, tell me more. So now for my objective, it says tell me more, because the kids, they always repeat it after me. They're like, tell me more. So I'm like, tell me more by explaining how mitosis and meiosis, whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. So yeah. Well, you guys, it's been real. I have enjoyed my time with you all. But I have been up since about 4:30 this morning trying to get my life together, and I do got to come back to school tomorrow. So I got to go home so I can eat dinner. I just ate lunch, so I don't know if I'm really going to be eating dinner. But I'm going to go home so I can relax and, yeah, get my life together for the evening. Let's see. Let me read my last little comment, though. Let's see. Logan said, my wife said I go into teacher mode sometimes. Is there a correlation between education and medicine? Absolutely. Yes, there is. What you want to talk about? There's a big correlation in education and medicine. I think, for one, both medicine and education is an art. And, I think that when I did my interview for med school, they were definitely very intrigued by the fact that I was a teacher. And I think that many of the skills that you learn, especially like patience and just having compassion and wearing multiple hats and trying to, just like with kids, you want to try to encourage and motivate your kids. You're doing the same thing with your patients, because you got a lot of patients that they know what they supposed to do. They know they supposed to take eat better or take their medication X amount of times a day. But you have to learn like the art of hold on, I done got distracted. You have to learn. I know. Sorry. You've got to learn like the art of being able to like motivate people, and I feel like you learn that in education. There's so many things. I mean, education and medicine. Yeah, educate and medicate. But yeah, there's so. Oh man, the correlations between both is tremendous. Let's see. Inte said, thank you for this chat. I'm glad that I got to be in it while I'm on my day off today. Yes, thank you so much for joining. Also, show them the video of the coronavirus from, I can't even talk, coronavirus from the YouTube channel called ASAP Science to educate them too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we actually, and I have them we do live updates every day on coronavirus. So I have like a kid in each class that gives us like a breakdown. So like we remember when there was like no cases here to like the cases like duplicating every day. So it's been pretty good. But I'm gonna check that video out for sure. Thank you. And then Louise said, thank you all. It's been a blessing for me too. Keep doing what y'all doing, making the world a better place. I'm praying for you all. Yes, and we will be in touch. I'm going to be checking in with you guys next week. I'm going to be starting this book club. And just try to create a space for us to, chat as well outside of YouTube. I love YouTube, but, just have another space as well. Don't forget to hydrate too. Got the water. Let's see. I'm at 3 o'clock, but it's okay. I'll be up a little bit later. It says keep drinking. And then I'm going to get to 5 o'clock before I leave here. And it says no excuses. So you guys stay healthy and stay wealthy in the mind. All right. Remember to stay grounded in your purpose. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.